Move on to the next stage of the day. Delighted to be joined by Pacific FC head coach Mamadou Carr. Welcome. Day before the final. How are you feeling, man?
Feeling great. I'm alive.
You are alive, and it's been some journey, hasn't it, to get to here? I know it's a massive game tomorrow, and it's been a bit of a gap since the semi-final. But maybe before we open it up for questions, you can just give us a summary of how the group's feeling now you've made it here to Ontario ahead of tomorrow's match.
I think the group is in a great place. They've enjoyed themselves for the past 2 weeks. We've trained and they have some days off, and everybody know what we're playing for. It doesn't go beyond that, but for us, it's just another 90 minutes.
Before we get to questions, can you give us any update on the team? Who's here, like availability-wise, and who's not available for you guys?
Yeah, the only one that we're missing a little bit is Diaz, unfortunately. But otherwise, everybody's fit to go.
And the official line with Diaz is just personal reasons. Is that what it is?
Nah, he has a little minor injury. So
okay, perfect. So Diaz isn't here, and he's got injury. Okay, we'll open it up for questions in the audience before we turn into our audience on Zoom. Charlie,
come on, Charlie, man. No preparation, Charlie. What's going on?
Hello. Yes. Hey, Bob. How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Since you took over this club 2 years ago, you've spoken a lot about, establishing a culture and an identity with this group. And it seems like you've done that. But maybe when somebody asks you about that, how would you define Pacific's identity and culture?
Culture is not only set by one person. The culture was set from the get-go by the owners. They had a vision of what they wanted to achieve with their club. And when you have people that is that ambition with Rob and Josh, and they believe in certain aspects of the game, because the biggest thing for them was they never get to play in their country. I had the pleasure to play in my country because that's where I met Rob. So for them to able to have a club and help the young Canadians and help grow the country when it comes to terms of football, that's where it starts. And then fortunately, a guy like me who played in North America, finished my career at the Whitecaps, have the similar vision as the owners. That's where the culture starts. And the culture is to drive and help young, ambitious players, give them a pathway. And that's what the same pathway that they wanted to have but couldn't get it. But now they're able to provide it. And now we're seeing a little bit of the results of where the national team is going, but also where the CPL is, given what the recent results has been. The defending champion going to the semifinals. We went to the semifinals against Toronto, and now as a third-year club, we're in the final. So that is the vision that we have. So our culture is family, communication, and transparency from the bottom down.
Great answer. Adam.
Hello, Paul. I know this is a team that's full of ambition, as you alluded to. I'm wondering if in your preparation for Forge, if you watched any of the CONCACAF League events, knowing that that's your ultimate prize, but if you get that, you'll also be in CONCACAF League next year, and what would being on the continental stage mean for Pacific FC?
Oh, it would mean a lot. You gotta be ambitious, otherwise why you play the game? So we have a goal, the owners have goals, we have a goals as staff, the players have goals, right? It's to win. Otherwise, why do you play football? Right? And also to be allowed to be on the biggest stage for a club like ourselves. We're on the island, right? We're not in Canada, we're on the island, right? So we understand what is it. And to be honest, the island is full of good players. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but the team that went to 86, the goal that helped Canada was scored by an island boy named George Bakers. So Canada should be grateful for the island, right? But also with the owners, obviously, that's the biggest stage. You want to represent the club, you want to represent the country, right? And it's not only one team, we want multiple teams, right? We want to be the team. There's no hiding in that. We want it.
Well, just one more quickly off that. What is the past 2 weeks been since the semifinal? Because this has been an unusual season, but typically you're preparing for a lot of games in very short order. Now you've had one opponent, one date for 2 weeks. Just walk us through a little bit what that's like with the club.
Well, it's just trust the process. Every day come to work, right? Just take it day by day. We cannot plan too much ahead, just plan day by day And when we had the last game was 7th of November before we played Calgary. 2 days off for the boys, right? Come back in, refreshed, focused, play the game the 20th, same thing. 2 days off, come back, get to work. Sounds boring, but
Sounds like great. I mean, perfect for players, I think. At that point, doesn't sound boring to me.
oh, they're happy.
Yeah, exactly. Louis with Forge, go ahead.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
I'm not talking to you.
I knew you
Why
would.
are you my enemy? You're not talking to me. Somebody else, please.
Forge has accomplished quite a bit, but the one thing they haven't done is get to celebrate a championship here at home by winning it.
So what you trying to say?
Is that something your team is embracing? Is being kind of the ultimate spoilers and ruining the party tomorrow night?
So you guys already having a party? So that's what you're alluding to.
No, are you really? Are you embracing the opportunity to try and ruin?
Try what?
Are you embracing the opportunity to be a spoiler?
We're not here to spoil. We're here to do something that we believe in we can do. That's not spoiling.
Thanks, Pop.
You're welcome.
Hi, Pop. Eduardo Harari from Spanish World Network. Wanted to ask you how does the being the representative of the West Coast technically gives you motivation to win this for Western Canada that hasn't seen yet a championship at any of the Canadian level?
Well, they have Whitecaps.
Not recently.
No, you said they never had. I said that we have 79.
Long time ago.
Doesn't matter. We won. Right? But we want to make history, obviously, of course. Right? All this year for our team, it's been a great year so far because what we set out to do in the beginning of the year, step by step, we've taken every step. And when we got to play the Whitecaps for the first ever professional game in BC, we won that game. I think it was a monumental game for the club as well as for the CPL, right? And again, we went to the semifinals against Toronto, which I still believe we should have hosted, but it's okay, right? But anyhow, we get to play them. Another milestone for the club to go in Calgary semifinal. And here we are again with another milestone. So if you want to know the answer, let's look it up tomorrow.
Okay,
We'll move to some questions on Zoom for you, Paul.
we'll kick it off with Cleve Deanshaw from Times Colonist.
Cleve,
Hey,
you're not
Paul.
the first today, huh?
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Doing well, sir.
Sure. Hey, a lot has been made of the record overall and over 3 years, 8-0-1 in favor of Forge in these matchups. What have they done so well against you over 3 years, and what can you do to counter that?
See, that's why I'm not a fan of statistics. Stats is what it is. History is meant to be rewritten.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
Welcome.
Next question.
Next is Michael McCall.
Hey Pa, how you doing?
Doing well, Michael. How about you?
Very good. After the semi-final, we chatted about the growth of the team and what you've seen from this team over the last 2 years. On a personal side, what have you seen in your own growth as a coach from the coach that came into Pacific 2 years ago to where you're standing now?
I've actually not looked at myself, to be honest. I've been too busy with the growth of the players because that's where my mind is always. And maybe after the season, I will go to my wife and she will tell me what I've done well and what I've not done well, to be honest. But for me, it's never about me. It's always about the players because as a coach, you're nothing without your players. And the players also have given me this platform through their hard work, to their dedication and commitment to the club and to the organization. So for me, it's not about me.
Thanks, Pa. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We'll go to our last question with Brandon.
Thanks, Mickey. Hey, Pa, how are you doing this afternoon?
Doing well, Brendan. How about you?
I'm doing well too. Just maybe wanted to pull back the curtain on your career as a player, maybe, and have you think back to winning the Norges Mester Cup, the Norwegian Cup with Follering back in 2002. Is there a little bit of that, playing in that semifinal, playing that final, that comes back for you as a coach now that, was in your mind back then as a player?
I mean, obviously, you always want to draw to experience that you went through. I was fortunate enough to play in two finals, which I won, which was 2002 and 2015 with the Whitecaps. So you always want to draw experience from that, but it's always different experience. My experience is always going to be different from the players' experience, right? But you can try to help them with some words, guidance, because this is our first final for these boys. But the growth that they've shown throughout the years with the big games that we played, I think that has also manifested and helped them a little bit when it comes to their personal growth. But my personal experience will always be different to theirs. This is about them. This is about them experience it so that it will help them grow furthermore for the coming years. So for us, we remain the same. We have one motto: trust the process. That's all it is.
Appreciate it, Pa. Good luck.
I'm sorry, Brandon. Just to follow up on that, though, you record those games pretty quickly. How often do you think about those when you look back at your career now? Is it something you would tell your players to say that embrace every minute of a final because they don't come around too often?
Well, one thing I've told them is, if you look back at your career, you always think as young, yeah, I want to play a final. But then you look back, how many actually players out there to play a final? It's not many. So if it's one, if it's 2, 5, I don't care. Just embrace it, because you don't know when the next one will come around. So that's the only thing that I can give them, because that's the only thing it is. I was fortunate enough to play in 4, right? But that's not given. So whatever is in your front of you, take it.
Great. I think that's it. Thanks very much, Pa, for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow. Louis, don't talk to me. Plenty of people still here to ask questions and also online, so we'll get through to it. Before we do that, we'll get some opening comments from all of you guys as well. I'm joined now by Aparicio, Lucas MacNaughton, and the captain for Pacific FC, Jamal Dixon, ahead of tomorrow's Canadian Premier League 2021 final. Jamal, let's start with you. You traveled here to Ontario. You've had a couple of weeks to rest. How much is the game on your mind right now, and what's the feeling overall in the team ahead of tomorrow?
It's a very exciting moment. We put in a lot of work throughout the whole year. I don't think it's a fluke that we're in this position. We gave ourselves the opportunity to be here. It's been on us. So I think we also just got to enjoy the moment tomorrow. It was a great training session for the boys. We look forward to it.
Lucas, I know we had a chance to chat this week on our show as well, but you can't get a smile off your face very often anyway. You always got a smile on your face. You're always a happy guy, but this must be one that you're looking forward to more than most tomorrow.
Definitely, it's a huge game. I think if you train with us, you know that I'm not always smiling, but but I'm excited to be here. Yeah, definitely.
Manny, just turn it over to you as well. Obviously, you love the big games. One of the reasons why you came to play with this team is for big games like this. What are your overall thoughts heading into tomorrow's task against what will be a very difficult game against Forge?
Yeah, like the guy said, we had a good training session. We had a good couple of weeks leading up to this game. And I think we're prepared. We put in all the work throughout the season. Now it's just about last 90 minutes and getting it done.
Great stuff. We'll ask some more questions from the floor, and then we'll get on to Zoom as well. And we'll start with Charlie.
Yeah, we did this with Forge as well, but I'm going to ask you guys to talk about each other. You played with each other all year. You've got to know each other really well. What is it for each of you, for you? What is it about the other two guys sitting next to you that makes them so good and so important for this team? Maybe we start with whoever wants to go first.
Start with you, Manny, at the end.
Sure. For me personally, it's just two guys that I've known from before. Jamar from national team, and obviously with the career he's had, and Lucas from Toronto and stuff. Two guys that I know are leaders on and off the pitch, and that work hard every day. Two great professionals on and off the pitch as well. And just guys that you want to have on your team and on your side. Obviously playing against them the past years. It was tough opponents, and now to be on their side is a blessing.
one thing for me, I think we talked about the other day, the Calgary game where I was watching from the stands. I actually got to see a different perspective on these games and really how much of winners they are and that they're always there. They want to win. They show it in training. They show it in the big matches, and it's great to play alongside them.
For myself, I've seen these guys put in the work from preseason, and I've got to see Lucas from last year transition to this year. Massive step from him. He's a rock at the back. Everyone sees his presence, knows his qualities. So just to know going on the pitch, he's going to have your back at all times. It's amazing. And for Manny as well, he's a warrior in the middle. He's a special player, and I enjoy playing alongside him. And these two guys, when I see them on the pitch, they honestly they make me want to grind even more for them, right? So it just goes to show that we all put in this work together and we feed off of each other.
Great. Adam, at the back.
Hey, gentlemen, Adam Jenkins, OneSoccer. Ask your coach the same question. I'll ask the three of you. How much, if any, were you able to catch Forge in CONCACAF League? And the reason I ask is you get the Shield tomorrow if you win, but at the same time, CONCACAF League for next year for Pacific comes with that result. I know this is an ambitious club. You guys are ambitious players. Have you seen any of that CONCACAF League stuff? And what would that mean to be able to take that step as well next year?
Manny?
Yeah, I tuned in. I tuned into most of the games. I have quite a bit of free time in the afternoon, so no, but yeah, I mean, this is what we play the game for, right? CONCACAF is a huge step up for ourselves and for the club, so that's what we're aiming for, of course.
What about you, Jamar, as a captain of this club? What would it mean to you, not only tomorrow to win that trophy, but to know that this club, the one that you're guiding, this badge, this region, can go represent that region in CONCACAF?
I think it's the next step for this club's development, right? Obviously, first and foremost, is right here, but to get to that tournament and show our resilience and show what we can do, and also just compete at that standard, that level, and see how we fare. I think that's very important for us. That's the only way we really are going to expand and grow, right, as a club. So it's definitely something that we want and we're pushing for.
All right, we'll move it over to Zoom, Nikki, or Charlie, you have another question? James? James has got a question. We just got the mic for you, James. Thanks, James.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, you're coming into the home of the team that's won the last two of those trophies. What's the challenge that's in front of you? For me, the challenge is, they've done it, right? They know what it's about. They've won it 2 years in a row, and they're a good team. It's clearly shown, right? For us now, what we have to do is just continue to grind and show our character like we've been doing. We've always been looked at kind of as the underdogs, and I mean that's okay. That's where we've started, right? From 2019 to where we're at. So I just think we just gotta stay focused and focus on what we can really do. Ford is gonna do what they do, and we'll just see where the chips fall.
Okay, we'll go over to the questions on Zoom.
Yeah, we're gonna start with Cleve Deanshaw.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Say good.
Good. Hey, 9 times you guys have played Forge in the past. Lucas, you've been in all 9 games. Jamar over the last 2 years, and Manny obviously just this year, and of coming away with nothing, one draw in all that time. What did they do so well against you guys to dominate this series?
We spoke about this the other day again too. I think what they do very well is that they're in a match for 90 minutes, and that's how they've punished us a couple of times. It's not that they've been necessarily the more dominant team for 90 minutes, but they've been switched on for 90 minutes, and they know how to punish teams, and they know how to put away goals and chances, and that's how they're in this position. So for us, it's about staying switched on for 90 minutes and being focused for the whole game.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we haven't gotten anything out of it out of those games. Yeah, the result is one thing, but we've also learned a lot, and we got to take those games and the information and the mistakes and things like that and put it into our next match. And I mean, this is the one that really counts. So, like I said, we'll continue to work and see what happens.
Great, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Cleve. We'll go to Brandon.
Thanks, Mickey. Hey guys, hope all you guys are doing well. Just maybe, to the entire room and maybe we'll go around the horn or something, but just maybe wanted to ask on previous experiences that you guys have had, at different levels, whether that's national team, whether that's, for you, Lucas, playing for the FISU team in 2015 and 2017. Just how useful can it be, or how effective is it to rely on some of those experiences that you've had to get you through this tie?
Lucas, you want to start? Big games in the past, and I mean, all three of you played in big games at different levels and finals.
There's games in the past, but the ones that I can think of recently and the ones that matter to us as a collective are the ones that we've really stepped up already, and that's Whitecaps and Calgary in the Canadian Championship. And those are the ones that we've experienced together, we've fought together, and it's the ones that have shown our growth and our character and that winning mentality that I just talked about. And those are the ones that I think that in tomorrow's match, I'll think back on, I'll rely on. It's those memories that you've created in the past and those habits that'll come out, and all the hard work that we put in. But yeah, those big moments, those team wins that we've had, those are the ones I think that matter most. Not the ones very far in the past, not the ones from previous years, but the ones that we've experienced recently.
We have one last question from Adam.
Hey, thanks. Hey guys, I'll throw this one out to Jamar. Christian mentioned the rest that you've had since the semifinal. It looked like actually going into that semifinal at Spruce Meadows after the regular season wrapped up, the club benefited a lot from that time off. Can you talk about sort of how you've been spending time, whether that's on the training pitch, keeping things loose in between the semifinal, heading into the big match tomorrow?
Yeah, well, we've just been focused on what we have to do. We've been given 2 weeks to prepare. A lot of tactical stuff, just good hard trainings, make sure the environment is healthy and just good vibes, just bringing everything together, right? Because we know this is the last game and this is what we all want to play for. So I think the last 2 weeks has helped us a lot, and we just got to enjoy the moment now. We've prepared, we've done everything that we need to do, and again, tomorrow is what we've been preparing for. So that's it.
Thanks a ton. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you for everybody for your questions, and for everybody from the audience as well. And thank you guys for this. We really appreciate it. That was a busy time. Manny, Lucas, Jamar, thanks so much. Good luck tomorrow. It's a big game. We're really grateful you guys are here. You deserve to be here. Go out there and enjoy it. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Christian, very much.
Thank you.
Can I